Macros in Zendesk are templates or canned responses. If you do something more than twice, then create a macro for it. I'm exaggerating, of course, but let's look at my screen and I'll show you how to create a macro first, because I know you guys like it when I share my screen. You go to Admin Center from the 4 squares, and then you go to Workspaces, and then you scroll down to Macros. All right, so top right, I have create macro in blue. All right, so let's give it a name. I'm gonna say order and then double colon. I'll explain what that is. Refund not possible due to expiry. So I'm creating a macro for an order inquiry where refunds are no longer possible because it just went past the expiry date. In description, you can go ahead and give it a description if you'd like. I recommend that you do put a description, especially if you create this macro for your team members. Who's this going to be available? It's going to be available for all agents, but I can just say it's for me only and people in a group. So agents in a group or in a department. I'm going to say all agents. We can do a plethora of actions. The most popular one is to put a reply. So let's just say comment description, and I can just say, hello, we no longer can refund your product due to the expiry of the time needed to send the product back. The product was ordered, and then I leave a blank because I have to fill this out by hand. Your product was ordered, I don't know when, like 2 months ago, and your expiry date was 30 days after the time it arrived. Unfortunately, this is now overdue. I can add another option, and I want to put the ticket in pending because I am replying to the customer. I'm going to say status category is pending. Now, I can do a bunch of other actions. I can change the ticket properties. I can do a whole lot of things. Let's look for contact reason, and this one is going to be order flows. Where's my order? Can I exchange? Do deliver? Where is my order? I'm going to choose can I exchange my order? No, you can't in this case. I'm going to create this one. So look, it has been created. I refresh my screen, and if I go back to support and I open a ticket, now I'm in my supports, and I can also type and search, but I'm just going to scroll because I want to show you something. Because in here order, as you can see, I have this arrow here which indicates that there's something more. If I click it, look, I have 3 macros in here. So the reason why I added that double colon is for naming. I'll tell you about it in a second. But look, this is my one, not possible due to expiry. If I want to see it, look, so status category pending. I change the contact reason to order flows cannot exchange. Public reply, hello. Look, I can apply the macro. It's already in pending. I click it and I reply to the customer. Now you know how to create a macro. Now let's talk about naming. Now the naming convention, if I go back here to macros and I look for order refund not possible. Now, when you create a macro, the naming has to be something intuitive so your colleagues know what it is if they look at it. Also, if you want to be organized, you have to create categories. So look, for me to create a category in here, I have to say the name of the category, and then I put double colon, and this automatically tells Zendesk that this is a category and anything after it is part of that category. So order double colon, boom, category. And then this is the name of my macro. So now I don't have to stop here. I can say order, refund, double colon, and I've created another category. So I've created a category within a category. And I can go as far as 7 levels deep into this. I don't recommend you go that far. I recommend maximum 2 or 3 if you really have to. This will keep you nicely organized so you don't mess up. You can also search for it as you've seen in that search bar, and it's easy for you to access these kinds of macros that you use on a regular basis as an agent. When to create a macro? If you do something more than twice, create a macro. This is what a dear friend of mine, Fabian Dittrich, used to say, but he's one of the lazy types that, he doesn't want to repeat work. I know many people like that. You don't necessarily have to go and create a macro every second time you create a thing, but if it's a third time, then you might create a macro for it. Even if it's not a text reply, so you don't have to think about a macro just in terms of creating, like giving a reply to the customer or putting an internal note. You don't have to think about macros that way. Rather, change some ticket properties. If you just have to go in and scan tickets and see what they are about, and then you have to choose what contact reason they are or request type or whatever, or change the priority, and you already know what kind of priority some kinds of tickets have to add, you just to add that. For example, you create a macro to change the request type or the contact reason to something that you know, and to add the priority urgent, because that's what you have to do. So instead of just going dip, 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 dip. You just go brr, brr, done, right? So it just speeds you up. Now, if you don't have the possibility to create macros yourself, it means that your administrator doesn't allow you. It's a quick fix. You can go in, you can just nudge them, pull their sleeve and say, hey, I want to be able to create macros for myself. You can get permissions to create macros just for you to change whatever property you want, make yourself faster and make your work a little bit more interesting and faster and pleasant, which I recommend. Like, you don't have to work like everybody else. And if you are the leader type and you want to create macros for somebody else or like for the rest of your team, you can also ask your manager or whoever is an administrator in Zendesk to allow you to create macros for yourself and for your team. Next topic is placeholders. Now, let me show you this really cool one. So in my macro here, remember when I said hello earlier, right? So I said hello, which is very general and very impersonal. Now, what can I do? I can add here a placeholder. Placeholder is something that us dinosaurs, myself. By the way, my name is Dominic, customer experience guy, 15 years in the field, 12 years as Zendesk consultant. We are Zendesk partners, Zendesk resellers, and we do only this. So look what I put. I open a double colon, and I say requester first name. Now, each time I use this macro, I am able to dynamically take the first name of the person that I am talking to. So whenever I apply the macro, look, if I save it and I go here and I apply that macro, look, it automatically takes that hello Dominic, which is the requester of this ticket, which look here, it says Dominic. I am Dominic and making a video for you, but I'm testing as Dominic, the customer as well. So what can you do? Now, you don't have to know these by heart, but once you use them, you will start learning them by heart. So you don't have to know them at first, but you can go here, view available placeholders. And as you can see, right, you can just copy these and you can get inspired by what these mean. So for example, current user details, which are your profile. So you are the one logged into Zendesk, so it's going to take your profile. Current user is always the person that either creates the ticket or is looking at the ticket. Ticket assignee is whoever is the assignee of the ticket. Then you have ticket brand name, ticket CC, ticket description. You also have ticket ID, public comments. I won't go into the detail of every one of these. So these placeholders are dynamic content where you keep data dynamically. So it always changes. It's almost like it's a box, and in the box there's a mirror, and whoever opens it, there's like, oh, it's me. I don't know if this is a good example, but it's a box that always contains some kind of information which is related to either you or either the customer or either the ticket. So it always changes depending on what you select in here. So always ask yourself, like, is this something that I can dynamically add? I don't have to add by hand. If it's somewhere in the ticket, then you'll find it in a placeholder. So there you have it. This is a tutorial and best practices for how to use macros, when to create them, and some tips and tricks on how to use them effectively. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like it and maybe share with your friends who might need help with enhancing their macros. I am very grateful if you give me a comment, if you have some other tips or some other ideas, or if you want to see some special content. I don't always have ideas for these things. I love to be inspired by you guys. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.